Give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. As said by the founder of Taoism, a famous proverb by Lao Tzu. Issues on poverty are a tale as old as time, seeing as how many people can reach below that dreaded line in an instant, mostly during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Depending on the intensity of the economic contraction, the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to push an extra 88 to 115 million people into extreme poverty this year, with the total rising to as many as 150 million people by 2021.
Extreme poverty, defined as living on less than $190 per day, will impact between 9.1% and 9.4% of the world's population in 2020. Charitable organizations will always be the forefront of world compassion. Yet what happens if the disaster has been quelled? Why are there people still starving even after there have been tens and thousands of charities established decades earlier?
Is there any other way besides band-aid solutions that could be made different with the current social-political climate of our Earth? Perhaps we should turn to how our people have been conditioned into what they believe would be the best solutions. In 2021, the global unemployment rate was approximately between 6.3 to 6.5, depending upon the state of their economy. But we all know that the world economy has crashed during the pandemic. So how strong is that old saying now?
Do you think that charitable organizations should focus more on livelihood development alongside direct outreach and philanthropy?
Yes, though charity has helped a lot in different situations. Being able to focus money on philanthropy, which is the giving of importance to the welfare of others, will be a great help. May it be for food or shelter, or even to focus on the mental health of everyone to ensure their well being.
I think that having more charities focus both in livelihood development and direct outreach will greatly help reduce poverty. It will generate employment among the poor and at the same time give them the support that they need for them to achieve the said opportunities and in overall result in economic stability.
So for me, yes, if I'll be the one who will be organizing an organization, it should aim on, of course, livelihood creation, because the crime rate and the poverty rate is directly correlated with the the opportunity of livelihood na as accessible with our fellow Filipino men. So, like for example, some studies show that that the people doing crimes doesn't have any job, and aside from that, the reason that why they commit crimes is because they don't have enough money to spend for their daily needs. Like for example, kung kailangan nilang kumain, and they are hungry, of course they would need to buy food or prepare food on their own. Pero since wala nga silang work, hindi accessible, and mababa, kung meron mang work is below minimum or minsan below minimum, sometimes dinadaan nila sa, of course, kumakapit sa patalim, quote and quote. And so if we would like to help our fellow men para matigil ang crime or para maiangat sila sa poverty, of course kailangan ng mga trabaho na sapat yung pagpapasahod para sa mga tao.
In my opinion naman, we can utilize the theory of hierarchy of needs ni Abraham Maslow. While the concept of giving food and the other basic needs is good, how about the continuity of such, no? So kunwari, if we're giving food to the poor or to the needy, but the thing is they are not supplied with a very sustainable and good livelihood program in order for them to sustain also their lives, food will just be one day good. How about tomorrow? How about 1 week from now? How about 1 month, 1 year, 10 years? No, so we don't know. Di mo naman kayang i-sustain talaga totally. If you are an organization and you want to give help, no, as much as you can, maybe instead of focusing totally, no, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, no, but instead of focusing totally on the basic needs lang, maybe you can also give them their fair share of security,
Right.
no? So Maslow's hierarchy of needs talaga. So if they feel secure, they would feel like they are into their jobs, they feel like they have their own sense of identity, they have their own options to begin with. So pagka ganon, you're actually helping them not just physically and professionally but also mentally.
Isa sa mga pangunahing dahilan ng pagtaas ng crime ay ang kahirapan. Sounds cliche pero totoo yun. Kumbaga ang isang taong gipit sa patalim kumakapit, sabi nga, di ba? Kumbaga pag ang isang tao ay walang-wala na, makakaisip siyang gumawa ng isang bagay na sa tingin niya ay makakapagtawid sa kanyang gutom at sa kanyang pamilya, yun nga lang, sa masamang paraan niya nagawa. Maiiwasan natin yan kung ang ating pamahalaan ay gagawa ng mga opportunity na para mabigyan ang ating mga kababayan sa sinasabing laylayan ng lipunan, bibigyan sila ng oportunidad na kumita, makapaghanap buhay para maipangtustos nila sa kanilang pamilya.
Yes, I do. Because to improve the state of life within low-income communities, we must not only address poverty with temporary solutions such as outreach programs. Though these are great initiatives, they are simply not enough to enhance community capacity.
Through what you have learned in common social sciences and disciplines, what do you think is the best way to combat these heightening cases of poverty?
Providing job opportunities and proper education would lower poverty cases because this would help them earn money to support their families or just for themselves.
I believe that to overcome this socio-economic issue, we not only need a willingness to ask for help, but we also need financial planning. By providing job opportunities and sufficient education rather than just direct outreach is personally the best way to accomplish both of these. A big factor of systemic poverty in the Philippines is the lack of access to sufficient education to those in impoverished areas. So by implementing this, it will in turn gain people the basic skills necessary to have jobs and additionally have increased job opportunities through education.
In my opinion, it's more of guiding our youth. I think, no? It's guiding our youth and not just the youth. Maganda din yung ma-supervise mo din yung mga magulang. It's because a lot of our youths, they cannot decide on their own unless their parents decide on it too. So ang gagawin natin, let's make our youth decide for themselves because at that point, tapos na sila dun sa point ng social independence or almost furnished na. No? Para kung sa isang gamit na naliha mo na, nabarnishan mo na, maayos na pwede mo na ibenta. Yung mga kabataan natin, ganun din ang isip nila. At that point, singkat na. So, kailangan ma-develop mo sa kanila yon. Kailangan i-counsel mo sila. Kaya doon nagiging important yung guidance and counseling sa mga eskwelahan. Doon nagiging remarkable yung role ng mga RGCs natin, mga registered guidance counselor natin, and other mental health professional in general, no? So, kailangan mo silang i-aid.
For me din, kung i-correlate natin, yung mga nangyayari ngayon, yung kung nasan na tayo ngayon as humans, we're at this period of time na sobrang accessible ng data and information through computers and accessible naman yung mga public libraries, yung of course internet may utilize yan, ang daming ways para sa mga students din para let's say to be more innovative, lalo na tayo bilang Filipinos in our local country if you would like na makipagsabayan, let's say sa mga second world or first world countries, we should have our own innovations that we can share to the world na talaga namang magiging yung may babalik natin yung um, tunog ng pangalang Pilipinas.
Sa panahon ng pandemya, maraming kababayan natin ang nawala ng hanap buhay, na nagsarado ang mga negosyo. Siyempre, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang low income earners. So, makabubuti na rin ang mga charitable organizations magkaroon ng iba-ibang sangay ng ating mga komunidad na natutulungan para naman mas marami silang naaabot.
We must first realize that poverty is complex and multidimensional. Aside from viewing it as relative to society, we must also see that the problems and issues that cause poverty are related to each other. From this, we understand that the complete eradication of poverty is and will be difficult. But from what we know from sociology, the best option that we have is to provide job opportunities and sufficient education for people to be active agents of change.
Are you familiar with the saying, give a man a fish and he will eat for a day? Teach a man to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. Whether the answer is yes or no, what comes to your mind?
I am very familiar with that saying and I agree to it. Being able to educate others into how to provide for themselves will not only help them but will also help a whole community. A community of people who knows what's best and will also have the ability to teach others, not just themselves, which will make a chain reaction that would make a community become self-sustaining.
Yes, I am familiar with the saying. What comes to mind in this saying is the importance of implementing long-term solutions to, specifically in this case, socioeconomic issues. Poverty is about both a lack of money and a lack of hope. And by focusing on only one aspect of this, we will only give them band-aid solutions to long-term problems. Therefore, by addressing on what we can do to help them for the long haul is definitely the start in eliminating poverty. Thank you.
So, sa akin, it's true. Like, you wouldn't learn anything if everything will be served to you on a silver platter. So ang kailangan doon, matutunan mo lahat. No? So from end to end, para masabi mong tao ka o para masabi mong natuto ka. Kasi you will not be able to learn really unless ikaw ay matuturuan, no? Paunti-unti at slowly but surely yung development mo umaangat. So tama naman yun kasi kung lagi kang binibigyan ng fish, araw-araw ka lang din manghihingi. Pero kung tuturuan ka kung paano mangisda, araw-araw kang ikaw mismo yung mag-aaral ng pagkain.
Kailangan ng tao i-upgrade yung sarili niya. It's like yung natural selection, yung survival of the fittest.
Correct.
Parang siya, pag hindi ka kumilos or hindi mo alam kung paano maghanap ng pagkain or gumawa ng paraan para mabuhay yung kinabubuhay mo, no? Pag di mo ginawa niya ng paraan, hindi ka talaga makaka-survive, and you'll be like a parasite being dependent to let's say to other people, no? Parang so ang siguro nakikita ko dito, yes, our governments can help provide jobs. There will be like private companies na mag-offer ng mga sarili nilang, of course, products and services wherein they can hire people, and yung mga taong ito na walang work, syempre they can actually apply for a job, and trainings can be provided. They will learn the necessary skills para sila ay maging equipped, and I know na yun nga, that's the purpose of the educational system. Educational system aims to provide yung skills nga na necessary para ma-shape or mold yung isang tao to become like let's say an employee or a business owner or an entrepreneur. Depende sa kung ano yung mga skill set na natutunan or na nakuha ng isang tao.
Dahil sa kahirapan, mas marami ang umaasa na lang sa tulong ng gobyerno, kung ano ang mga ayudang na ibibigay ng mga iba-ibang organisasyon. Ang disadvantage ng ganun, yung mga tao nagiging tamad. Iaasa na lang yung buhay nila sa mga tulong na natatanggap nila. Kumbaga parang tutunga-tunga na lang sila, sasabihin nila, may tumutulong naman sa atin, may magpapakain naman sa atin, bakit pa tayo magtatrabaho, di ba?
Yes, I am familiar with it. Applying it in the context of this interview by giving a man fish or by helping them through outreach, we give them temporary aid. But by giving them the knowledge to fish, by equipping them with the necessary skills that they need, we give them the viable means to support themselves and their families, which ultimately reduces poverty.
For our advocacy, we seek to encourage all charitable organizations to work with their local and national governments in order to combine philanthropy and paving career paths for those who are less fortunate.
Because we believe that if we teach others how to provide for themselves, yet deprive them of the opportunity, the world will not change.
Rather, as fellow citizens, we stand as one in face of adversity, giving both opportunities and education to others,
And
and
they
They
shall
shall
eat
shall
eat
eat
forever.
forever.
forever.